Right, so here I am. Oh, that car stopped playing up again. Well, I drove it back earlier from, took it to the bloke who was supposed to have a look at it. He said he's going to put the machine on it on Monday. To bring it back then. He said the problem with these sort of cars is that lights come off all the time. They generally speaking, they sort themselves out. He said, but sometimes they don't. Anyway, when I got to the Stinky Woods, of course the ABS and S or PSP thing come on, SPS or whatever it's called, that come on. But then when I got back in the car, that was still on. I started driving. It allowed me to get past 40 to get to 60. Then ABS light went off. It just turned itself off. No warnings anymore. Got home. Went to see him. It wasn't an issue anymore, so he said come back Monday. Drove it back. The road that he's on is a 6 mile an hour road. We're just off the road he's on. Anyway. So I got up to speed on that one. Again, no issue. Parked the car up. As soon as I got in the car, ABS light come on again. Oh, you dozy fucking thing. Anyway, right. So we are at Spiny Palace. There's a reason for that. Yes. There's a useful illustration here. But, yeah. It goes after the one I did earlier. So, hopefully, oh, caterpillars. Oh, beautiful. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Hello. Hello, little caterpillar. Or, not sure if that is a caterpillar. I don't know what that is, actually. A fluffy little thing. Very, very easy to tread on if you're not looking where you're going. Right. There's a few of them, actually. There's one over there as well. But I think that one's got into the grass already. Don't worry, I'm not going to train you. You go. Enjoy. Keep an eye and see if there's any more. Yeah, you don't want to kill the poor creatures. I imagine there's millions of them born because of the fact that a lot of them are going to get run over or trod on or whatever. So, that's the consequence of being that low to the floor and that slow moving, I suppose. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I sat indoors and I just said to God, where should I go? Yeah, because you've got to keep moving forwards in this situation. So, what do you want me to do now? So I had a bit of food. I had a brief kip. I did. 20 minutes. Wasn't really a kip, just to lay down, close eyes, just take the lid off the tiredness, basically. Yeah. Just get rid of that top bit of tiredness. And yeah, fine again. So yeah. It's not something I plan to keep going back to, really. But yeah, if you're in a situation and you need to kip, have a kip. Close your eyes for 10 minutes if you need to. Yeah, just to give you a boost of energy. Or get rid of that tiredness that's sort of looming over you. Yeah. Yeah, indeed. Yeah. That's the point. You can't plan your day out, so don't even try. Yeah. I mean, people that at work, they've got meetings. Try and get to the meetings as best you can, but even you know, if you're at work and you've got meetings, generally speaking, they get mucked up, don't they? Timings are very, very difficult creatures. They really, really are. That's like you got an appointment with a doctor or whatever, dentist or whatever. You go and they're usually like quite a lot behind, aren't they? Quite a lot behind. That's life. That's where life is. You can't really plan it. So, well, if you have an eventuality that you need to adjust things, then you adjust things. That's fine. Right. Well, we're not supposed to be robots, are we? No. And we're not animals, so we can adjust. We can look and we can reason and we can say, okay, if I just do that, then that will actually help my day to finish smoothly, sort of thing. Or at least as smoothly as it can. Yeah. So we have the ability to do that as human beings. We're quite impressive, really, when you think about it. We really are. We are quite impressive creatures. Well, not creatures, we're quite impressive specimens. all this crap that we came from apes, yeah, right. Sorry, no, there's nothing at all to suggest that happened. Nothing at all. That's just ridiculous. No. Basically like saying that tree came from that stone. Right, so this stone here. So that tree came from that stone. There's no way, shape or form that tree came from that stone. Absolutely not. That stone doesn't have anything in it to be able to grow. It can't grow, it can't produce leaves, it can't change after season, it can't do all of that. It can't do any of what that tree can do. That stone is absolutely ridiculously stupid compared to that tree. It has nothing at all. It has no life. That does. Yeah, that's... There you go, another extra illustration. There you go. I wasn't planning on that one, but it's a pretty fair illustration, isn't it? Certainly if you compare the stone to a tree, it's just like comparing a gorilla or an ape to human beings. Yeah, the absolute leap is just phenomenal. So no. Basically what happened years ago, people were trying to figure out, okay, how can we say that, where did we come from? Yeah, nobody has an idea. Because the point of it is, either you believe in the Bible, or you've got to find an alternative. So people are trying to find alternatives, right? Okay. They looked at the animal world. First of all, didn't they believe initially that we come out of the mud? Because they saw insects flying out of mud. So they thought, obviously, we all come out of mud. That was one idea they came up with. That was wrong. But of course, they've got to travel, they've got to see all these insects. So when they see the chimp or the ape, they see a creature that can stand upright, has 2 arms, 2 legs, similar to humans. Stands taller than human, but slightly arched. Well, it can be taller than a human, you can find a human. Probably taller than me. So is it possible that you could take that to evolve into that? If you're talking purely about the physical, if you're talking purely about the image, then yeah. But you're missing out the intellect, you're missing out the soul, you're missing out the spirit, you're missing out so many other elements in it. You know, the mental, emotional intellect, the desire to move forward, to learn, to grow, to try new things. Generally speaking, most creatures naturally haven't got that. You know, until they're taken to a lab and the lab has conditioned them to behave in that way, they haven't got it. Anyway, we're going this way actually, yeah. Yeah. So for this illustration, yes. Yes. Basically, this is what my heart was like. If you're talking about, this is called Spiny Palace. This is supposed to be a palace. Yeah, that's what it looks like. That's what my heart was like. Now the reason why these things can take a while, because look around, where's it? If you wanted to build this back up, where's the materials? Yeah, where's the bits you need to build this back up? They're gone. There's no bits, that's it. That's all you got. You have to make it up as you go, don't you? You have to create all these new bits and fill in the gaps and make this back into a beautiful palace. You know, there's so much missing from this. To what it should be is what it once was. That's still standing. Well, congratulations to that bit. Most of the inners of it is gone. But the outer is there, that's fine. There's a bit over there that's still standing. Good, okay. So you've got a few bits, but most of it completely decimated, isn't it? That's what my heart was like before God broke it to pieces. You had to flatten it to completely build it back up again. But you see, that's what you had to start with there. Hardly anything there at all. Yeah, just rubble. Compared to what you should have. Compared to this wonderful castle. This beautiful building. Yeah. I just thought that was an interesting analogy, you see. That's what God was showing me. And there are other people with whatever their situation is. Very, very similar. This is what you got. And I'll show you in a second, I think the image is here, of what it should be. What it was designed to be like. I'm not sure if this is the image or another one. There was another one, I'm not sure what happened to the other one. Over there. Oh, it's still over there. I'll have a look over there. Is this the original? So this is basically showing what it would have been like. You know, so you can see all the things there. You can see you've got all the carriages and everything going around. You've got trees in the area. You've got beautiful gardens planted there. You've got all the turrets. You've got it all kitted out so people can live there, that sort of stuff. That's not what it's like now, is it? There's a lot of work to go from that to that, right? Tons of work. Certainly this part here is missing. Where's it gone? Gone. Completely missing. Gone. Bye-bye. Gone, bye-bye. And that bit there, that wall there, that's over there. That's a bit there, gone. There's an arch there. There's the arch there. That's that there. You see there's loads of it missing, isn't there? Yeah. There's that bit there with the 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. They designed that as a taller building, what that is. They've still got the 4, but that's really, really short. Yeah, I think they've exaggerated that picture just a tad. That's fine. Yeah. Yeah. But that's it. Yeah. We all have certain degrees of rubble. Yeah. Whether it's our careers, whether it's our hearts, whether it's our relationships. There's rubble, and God's going to build that rubble up into something beautiful. And that's why it takes time. That's why, generally speaking, it's not a process that's overnight. Salvation, basically, you come from the world into God's kingdom is instantaneous. You give your life to God, that's it, done. But the renewal, that takes a process. See, bringing this wreck back to how it should be, that's a renewal. So that's where God talks about renewing your mind. God talks about giving you a new heart. A heart for Him and a heart for people. Yeah? But these are all things that are a process. They take time. They're not things that happen in an instant. Yeah? That's the reality. And it's useful to see a picture like this and say, this is you. This is the thing that God's working on with you. He's had to bring it down right to nothing, because really, if this area here was going to be rebuilt, you just have to knock it completely down and start again. You wouldn't be able to build on what's here. It's not strong enough. After years, I mean, look there, in that area there, you've got loads of weeds and rubbish growing up in it. You'd have to knock the whole thing down, take it apart and build it up bit by bit by bit by bit by bit from the ground, making sure it's strong enough. Yeah. That's what God is now doing. You see, the breaking it down, That was a painful bit. That was the stuff that really hurt. Because you imagine if those stones could feel, and you were smashing them all down, you were breaking them up, you were chipping all the plaster off and that sort of stuff. Would that be painful for the stones? Yeah. Yeah. Of course. I had a thing years ago. I wrote a song. Actually, I can't. God knows what it is. Don't even ask me. I have no idea. It was 20 odd years ago. I was staying somewhere and a person wanted to write some music and he asked me to help him. So I wrote about 4 songs for him. One was called "Shake Me, Break Me, Make Me." Now, that is this: shake, break, make. Yeah. That was 20 odd years ago. I came up with that song. With those words, because of the fact that in the end, that's the point. We need to be shaken, we need to be broken, and then we need to be made. It's like if you've got a garden, right? First of all, you've got to find out what's beneath the soil. So you've got to dig the heck up, right? So it's the shaking and the breaking going on. You've got to do all that. You've got to put all the rubbish out and all the old roots and all that sort of stuff. Got to come out. All the weeds got to come out before you can start laying down the turf and your flower patches and all that sort of stuff, your wildflowers, whatever you want in your garden. You're going to go through all that and do all the stuff first, which again, if your garden could feel pain, it would feel pain with you doing that, wouldn't it? So when you're going through it, it's painful. There's going to be painful parts to it. With you, the shaking is basically going right down to the root, revealing what's there. Then, the breaking is digging that stuff out. Digging that stuff that's been harmful to you, digging that out. And the making is obviously replacing that negative stuff with some beautiful positive stuff. With God making your career fantastic, making your relationships fantastic, making your heart full of love. Aye. But you've got to go through the earlier stages first before you can get to the making. That's the thing. You're going to go through that. You're going to be willing to go through the fire. To be refined, you're going to be willing to go through the fire. Because it's a fire that refines. Look at pottery. You can mould a pot, but until you put it in the fire, completely useless. You can't use it. It's absolutely useless. It's not going to hold anything. It's just basically clay. As soon as you put something in, the clay just goes because it's clay. It's just a clay pot. It's not actually a pot yet. You've got to do all that. You've got to put your glaze on it. Then you're going to stick it in the oven and go, here you go, cook to the right temperature, the right amount of time, so that you come out beautiful and solid, and you can be used and you can be a blessing to the kitchen that you go to. If you're not going to put it through the heat, or you're going to take it out too early, it's useless, completely useless. If something goes wrong with the kiln while it's firing, everything in that kiln has to be chucked away. It's absolutely useless. Once you've started the process, you can't stop it. You can't go back to moulding that clay anymore. No. So that's the point. You have to go through it. You have to go through it. Once you're in it, that's it. You're in it. Yeah. Well, it says toilet, so I just thought I'd see if they're open. It says vacant, but obviously the door is locked. Fireplace covering in this area. In what area? They haven't got anything going. It's locked. I don't think it's been open at all. I mean, it might have been open during some of the summer, but generally speaking, I don't think it really has been. Right. Folks, consider, from the point of view of the Earth. The Earth is made beautiful by the fact you've got all these beautiful trees growing in it. It helps to deal with landslides and to stop those sort of things from happening. The roots do a very good job. But if you're on the Earth and you have a tree, a young tree, you've got roots growing deeper into you. Again, quite a painful thing to go through, really. But the final result is gorgeous. The final result is beneficial to the Earth, right? Afterwards, you ask the Earth, was it worth it? Yep. During, the Earth will say, no, take it away. Yeah. Well, it's like a woman during childbirth. Yeah, this woman may have had a few children before, but during the childbirth, the fourth one, she thinks it's the worst thing she's ever gone through. Even though, quite likely, the first was far worse. But they forget that. During that moment, they forget that. Yeah, I know with dogs. Yeah, Mollie recently had pups, and they're now nearly 4 weeks old. Yeah. So with this litter, when she was close to having pups, she was crying far more than she ever did with her first, second, or third litter. She seems to have got more sort of emotional about it, more sort of panicky about it as she's got older, rather than. So she's completely forgotten that she's gone through this a number of times before. She's been fine. She's got no reason to worry, really. It's a perfectly natural thing that she's gone through before, and she's fine. But she stresses about it because she can't remember. Last time it was okay. Time before, that was okay. Time before, that was okay. What am I worried about? That sort of logic doesn't kick in, does it, during the time? That's what I say. God says, right, okay, we're going to do this. Okay. Bite down on something. Basically, bite down on something. It's going to hurt. So, Right. As I say, you go from what that is to something absolutely gorgeous. You go from a barren wasteland to that beautiful trees and rivers and dips and rises and wild grass with insects and beautiful. It's beautiful. You don't have to go down there to see that. Really, that's a gorgeous place down there. Wouldn't want to be down there because it's going to be quite mushy and marshy, but again, there's something about that is really, really nice. I've been down there a few times. We lost balls down there, so I had to go down there and get the football back because they haven't. I can see the ball. They've gone past it a number of times, but they haven't got the ball and brought it back up. It's easier for them to get back up. They've got 4 legs. I've only got 2. But so stinging that was down there. There's tons of stuff down there. But looking at it from here, absolutely beautiful. Look, you can just see through there as well. Beautiful. Absolutely gorgeous down there. Really is. I mean, I'm standing taller than some of the trees down there. That is, that's cool. But going from barren wasteland to that, it takes time. There are processes that have to happen. And yeah, there are moments that are going to be painful. Of course. Just remember at that point when I was pushing quite a while ago. You're here for a purpose. Your life doesn't belong to you anymore, you gave it to God. Go and find someone where you can lean on. Because leaning on someone is going to be incredibly useful if you're going through it. You need people who've got their heads screwed on, right, from a Christian point of view. Because you're going to have moments where you basically saying, like the Lord said, take it away from me. I don't want to go through this. It's going to happen. Saying, make sure you know who these people are. Yeah, that when you're struggling, who's going to be your anchor? Yeah, okay, the Lord will be your anchor, but what, do you have a human being that can do that as well? Struggling to get that word out, isn't it? Yeah. That's the thing, though. Yeah. Figure it out, understand it. Yeah. Well, put it this way, as I said about that, and I said about the earth with trees on it, the process you go through could be painful, it's going to be painful, but the end result, yeah. When you look back over this in the future, it's going to have been worth it, that's a certainty. You look back and you'll know it was worth it. Straight away, you'll know. If you had the option, if God said you want to go through it again, to go up another level, you'd say yes, straight away. You would. Even if it meant going through the whole thing again, you'd say yes. Once you saw just how incredible it is. There was something, one of these channels that talks about Christian stuff. And it said, do you have the favour of God? So I asked God that question. I said, do I have the favour of God? And God said, absolutely. Absolutely. And then when you look at what God is doing, you know, absolutely. Of course, I'll open the gate. When a person comes down on the bike, they're going to have to get off the bike to open the gate, so I'll open the gate for them. There you go. Something I can do. 1 second, let's hold that. Go nice and slow, that's it. You coming through? You coming through? Hi. Well, you can go through there, and there's a gate further up. You can go up and ride around. Hi. So I'll leave that one open for you. There you go.
Thank you.
No worries. Even that. Yeah. I haven't opened the gate for someone. Yeah. No big deal. It really isn't. Am I in a hurry? No. Doesn't matter if I just spend a few minutes, a few seconds really, was it 30 seconds maybe? Not delayed by it, does it matter? No, not really makes it. 30 seconds, who cares? Yeah, but it's something you can do for someone else. Right. No big deal. No. Yeah, say God's favour. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I say. Ask God questions, speak to God, find out what God's doing. As soon as you know what God's doing, you know you have God's favour. you know that, and once you know you've been here, you have God's favour, you don't need to worry about all the other stuff. You don't. You just leave it to God, let him sort it out. Let him do what he wants to do. Yep. Just don't worry about it. Oh, I absolutely laughed my head off earlier. First time in a couple of weeks. It was his videos. You have them on Facebook. Oh, geez, some of them so funny. The ones that really do get me, they're so incredibly stupid. But they're so incredibly funny because they are so stupid. Yeah, there was one that was really funny. Kid was trying to get his ball gone over a fence. He was using a stick to try and get the ball. And then he dropped the stick through the fence. This other bloke jumped over the fence, got the stick, jumped back over, gave the stick to the boy, but left the ball there. And to me, that is just that's insane. But it's so funny. Because you think of, okay, I'm going to help him, so I'm going to help him get his stick back. He's after the ball. Don't worry about the stick, just get the ball. And there was the one today where the bloke was at a river. I think his shoe had fallen in, so his shoe was about a yard or so in. And again, trying to use the stick. Dropped the stick, so this other bloke waded in, got the stick that was right next to the shoe, and just give me the stick back and walk back out. Oh God, really? And the look the bloke gave him. Yeah, you were in there, you were right next. Couldn't you have just got the shoe? Oh, so funny. It's those sort of yeah. I just think they are very good. Some of those jokes, very, very good indeed. Like that one where a bloke had sellotaped a balloon to a door, and when the door opened, the balloon would push against a pin and pop. So of course, someone would open the door, it went bang, and he got the flight of his knife just through something like that. Now that was brilliant. The idea of it, that's so clever. I like that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's nice where sometimes you come across that sort of thing that can cheer you up even while you're going through it anyway. So yeah. So I shall find out when I start this car up whether the ABS is still on, or whether I can go home all the way without the ABS coming on at all. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway. So there you go. You take care, God bless. That was something that God wanted me to do, a video here for that reason, so I've done that. So there you go. I'll speak to you soon. God bless. Bye bye.